Hi, how old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
Pardon?
What year were you born?
2005.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, so not gonna talk to you about God because obviously I don't think there's any evidence for that. I agree with you on that. But when it comes to gender being a spectrum, you mentioned that sex is a social construct, right?
No, sex is a chromosomal thing. Gender is a neurochemical thing.
Right, okay. So you're saying gender is a social construct.
Gender roles, gender identity, yes.
Right,
Gender
gender.
itself is tied to the brain.
Yeah, okay. So do you think there's more than two genders?
Yeah, there's many genders because there's many ways to identify within societies or cultures.
And isn't that a social construct as well? Something that we just came up with?
Social gender roles is something we came up with, right? Like that, the idea that women must wear long hair and like pink and be feminine. That's socially constructed, but sexuality, which dictates gender, is neurochemical.
Okay, but the way these are just stereotypes, long hair, wearing pink, all of that. When people, first the evolution, basically there was just two genders because you have two types of genitals and that's it. There's also
Yeah,
obviously non-binary.
yeah. We have since learned about each other, and we now know that the brain is much more complex. That it's not just male or female. Or not, it's not just woman or man. There's a spectrum of sexuality. There's a spectrum of gender because there are different ways for our brains to operate. Our brains, our sexuality is tied to our brains, which are very complex mechanisms.
Okay, so what is sexuality? Why do you think nature created us that way?
It didn't create us this way for any good reason, except for we evolved for these things by natural selection. There is some aid in our survival. That's really why we evolved these things.
Right, so I think same with animals, there's male and female for reproduction. So anything we assigned to gender is obviously a social construct, but you can't wake okay, not obviously wake up, that's very shallow to say, I wake up and I don't feel like a female or a male. But what it is what is okay, if you was to say what is it being a man? What is it? It's just whatever you feel inside.
No, it's no, it's cultural. It's societal, right? For example, do you consider yourself a woman?
I do, yes, because I am a woman.
Yeah. Well, what if I told you you're a man?
Well, you're trying out your ass because I'm not.
Exactly. This is how transgender people feel, right? Their brains are different than yours. They may have female brain structures, but be in male bodies. That's why they feel like they're in the wrong gender, that they're assigned, right? Because if I told you you're a woman, you wouldn't feel like you're a woman. You wouldn't feel. If I told you you're a man, you would feel uncomfortable with that. You would feel distressed.
Right.
That's how transgender people feel because there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that their brain structures are different than yours. And the same applies to gay people. Their brains are a bit different. There's certain genes that go into making your sexuality happen. The point is the brain is a very complex mechanism, and that is what determines your sexuality.
Right. I feel like being transgender and being gay are completely two different things, and that happens in a completely different part of your brain. That's one.
Yes, you're correct.
But the way we are just okay, if someone feels like they're a woman but they're actually a man, like obviously we have being a man is just obviously different hormones and different genitals. But what it is, being a man or a woman, is what society
No,
tells you to.
being a man is not about your genitals. Being a man is a social thing. It's not a physiological thing. It
Yeah, I said
has
that.
nothing to do
I
with
said
genitals.
is the way we grow up, being a man or a woman is. So obviously there's stereotypes and the way we grow up differently, but at the end of the day, that's the only thing that there's difference between us
What is your
biologically.
point? Look, what is your point here? Why do you deny the fact that there are multiple genders?
Because there isn't, there's two.
No, there isn't. There are multiple genders because there are multiple ways in which we can
Okay,
identify. For
so
example,
what's more
do
of
you
the
agree that
gender?
transgender people exist?
Do I agree with it?
Do you agree that transgender people exist?
They're real, obviously.
Great. So then you agree that there's at least three genders. Transgender is a gender, right?
Mm,
And being trans means your brain structure You have a male, for example, if you're a trans woman, you have a female brain structure in a male body.
No, I
So
don't
of
agree with
course,
that.
so well, I know you don't agree with it, but you have no counter data. I have tons of data showing this is the case, right? There's lots of data showing that transgender people, there's nothing wrong with them. They just have different brain structures. In fact, their brains have been shown to align with the sex, the opposite sex that they had at birth. Their brains are just a different sex. A male brain born in a female body, or a female brain born in a male body. That's how transgender works. That's how it works.
Okay, first
It
of all,
all has
just
to do
because
with your
you name something a gender doesn't mean it actually exists. Like, I've read, trust me, I've read lots of papers on this as well. And this whatever they call science now, it contradicts many times. But okay,
Where? What are you
the
talking
reason,
about? Where's the problem? Why is it that gender is only binary?
because the way we, let's say, hundreds of thousands of years ago, seen gender, it's because of your genitals. Like, there is literally nothing more to that.
Look, this is a tautology, right? Look, I'm asking you why. Where's your evidence that gender is only binary?
Literally with your eyes, with biology, what you see.
That's not a source, right? That's just your opinion. I'm looking for a scientific source that demonstrates gender is only binary.
Mate,
It's
you're
only
asking me for
male or woman.
sources and you're telling me you have so many of them, but I don't see you
Sure,
prepared with any paragraphs, blah blah blah. I came on your live. You
sure.
think I've got a
I can
book
get.
next to me?
I have some here. See, biological sex classification with structural MRI data shows increased misclassification in transgender women. This shows that again, their brain structures are aligned with the gender they think they are. Here's another study called "Brain Sex Shifted Towards Gender Identity," and it also shows that we can study trans people's brains they think they are. I can go on and on and on. I mean, do you want more studies?
Yeah, because what you're reading is there obviously people that identify as transgender often they do have different brain
No,
structure.
no, man. We can see their brains. We can see that the brains are
Right, what did I
different
just say?
than
See, you didn't let me
typical
finish.
sex.
I said, yeah, they do have different brain structure, but see, that doesn't actually mean they're a female because you're not born like
Look, you're
female brain.
confused. A female is a sex, not a gender. Male and female are two sexes.
You're
They're
confused. It's
chromosomal.
a gender, men and women, gender.
No, the definition of a gender is not
Oh,
a sex.
yes,
It's not chromosomal.
I know the definitions now change, but that's not the way it was. That's not the way it is.
Well, we learned about each other. Because we've learned about each other, our definitions change. That's called learning, education. The World Health Organization refers to gender as characteristics of a woman, men that are socially constructed. This includes norms, behaviors, and roles associated with being a woman or man or girl or boy, right? That's what a gender means. It's a social construct. Now, in terms of that's what gender identity means, which is, by the way, dictated by the brain, as the two studies I just mentioned show.
Once again, see, it's not just like physical appearance, it's your DNA, it's in your chromosomes. Your brain might be different if because obviously it shapes the way. If you're growing up thinking you're a certain way, your brain will shape differently because your brain.
You're not understanding, you're not even tracking to the logic here, right? Gender, you're equating gender with sex. They're two completely different things. Gender is completely social. Gender identity
So you
is
keep
completely
saying the
social.
same thing, and I keep saying,
The idea of a woman or a man, these are completely social norms. These are social things. They're culture. In fact, in many cultures, what we could designate as a man is actually would be a woman. In many cultures, women are the ones who are dominant. They're more masculine. They're the ones who go out and get the money,
okay, but we're
right?
not talking about that. We agreed on this.
In those cultures, you wouldn't be considered a woman or a man, right? It's cultural. What we say, what we designate as woman or man. That's why that is all nonsense.
See,
But sexuality, how you perceive yourself, how you think sexually, is determined by the brain, and that's what I just showed you with these two studies.
see, you didn't refer to not a single thing I just said. We agreed on it about 10 minutes ago. Yes, it is, the way you grow up, it's stereotypical, all of that. But what I said is being a man or a woman is in your DNA, it's in your chromosomes. And you didn't even refer to this.
I understand that. No, being a male is in your chromosomes, not a man. A man or a woman are just gender identities that we've made up as a society.
Exactly. So if you're gonna make up a certain concept one day and start pushing it onto people, people are gonna get confused, and now you're gonna start changing literally what everything means, and it is not
No,
true.
there's no confusion. Ma'am, the only one person here that's confused is you. You think you're so biased. You're thinking that it's only a male or a woman. You don't understand the complexity of the brain. You don't understand the complexity of sexuality. You're failing to recognize that because you just don't want to be wrong. All right, you're the one confused here. Nobody else is confused.
See,
There's
it's
nothing
not
wrong.
about
There's no.
me
There,
being wrong
transgender
or
people are
being
completely
right.
valid.
Okay, so how many genders is there, do you think? Like, name me other ones than men and women or
Gender
transgender.
fluid, non-binary, transgender,
So what's
man,
gender
woman. There's
fluid?
many. It's when you don't associate yourself with a particular gender, right? You're fluid. You're in between. There is no one or the other. You have characteristics of both woman and man.
Okay, so what does a gender fluid's brain look like then? How do you recognize
It's
it as a gender fluid person?
Yeah, that's a way more complex question. That's a good question, but it would all be determined by the brain structure. We'd have to take a look at those brains and see what the differences are.
So you're
It's a
telling
very we're learning about each other, right? Because people are now accepting each other for this, and we're now learning about the brain more, right? But in the past, people didn't know about this. In the past, people thought you were crazy for being transgender. Now we know it's normal and natural and completely valid.
Okay, so if it's a new science, as you said, that is true. Um, there's not much evidence. Like there is certain, obviously,
Yes, there
universities.
is. There's tons of evidence. You
Yeah.
haven't given a single source. You have not given a single source today that counters what I said at all. All you're saying is no, no, I don't believe you. No, no.
I
It's
didn't
not an
say I
argument.
didn't say I don't believe you. What I was saying is that
So
there
then
is
give it up.
many.
Give evidence or go away.
See, if I go on internet to look for evidence, I'm gonna leave the live. So it's not.
Okay, great. Prepare next time. Otherwise, you're wasting my time. I came prepared. You didn't. Not my fault. How old are you?
22, man.
Okay. What's your argument today?
I also want to be in the topic of God, Jesus Christ. I just want to hear your specific opinion on his title, his leadership, whatever. Like, what do you think? How do you feel? Why is it that you think gender is a spectrum? Like, how can it grow? How did it grow? Why did it grow?
What? Sir, what's your argument for us today? What is your argument?
Like that Jesus Christ, God Himself is real, but
Okay, where's
yourself,
your evidence that Jesus is God?
yes. My evidence is actually John 14, verse 10. And I can pull that up for you right now. Let me
Okay,
see.
and how does a verse demonstrate that there's a God?
Because the God is the Father.
How do you know that?
Because He describes Himself as the Father, the God, the Holy Spirit. And right
So did
here,
Charles Manson. So did Charles Manson. He said he was God all the time. Does it make him God?
verse 10, right here, boss. Let me read this to you. Jesus
No,
said,
please don't read it. Please don't read it. It's not going to help you.
but
I'm asking for how you know that this verse means God is real. I know you assume it, but how do you know it? Right? I don't care about a fucking verse in a storybook.
because
I want evidence.
this is the same verse that Jesus said Himself.
How do you know Jesus said it?
Because it's like written like on red. So that means Jesus Himself said it.
It's written on red.
Yes, Jesus Himself said it. Jesus is the Son of God, correct?
No, prove it. That's the point of contention here. Show
Yes.
that God is real.
He was born under Mary. Mary being the virgin that she was pure. God wanted Mary, specifically her, to
What?
be the
She was
carrier of
born
Jesus
of a
Christ.
virgin. She was a virgin, but she was still pregnant?
And the only way that is possibly possible is through God Almighty Himself. That's what I'm trying to read.
Okay, how do you know that she was a virgin?
It says on the Bible. It describes on the Bible.
If the Bible said that donkeys can talk, would you believe it too?
I mean, we live in a society where they said that we went to the moon and it's like apparently recorded it. Do you believe that? Were you there just because you saw it through a screen?
Wow, nice deflection, sir. But yes, we have evidence of going to the moon. We have moon rocks. But more
What?
importantly, how do you know?
There's like
What?
there's like a
Yes, we have moon rocks.
there's like a sand in LA that looks exactly like Mars where the pictures
No,
also
do
come.
you know what micro impacts are, sir?
Go on, yes.
Do you know what micro impacts are?
No, that's why I said go on.
Yeah, we can tell you don't know what it is. Micro impacts are meteorite impacts from the moon. Because on the Earth, there's no air. There's air, which means that those rocks don't make it to the surface, the small rocks. But on the moon, because there's no air, those small rocks hit the rocks and make micro impacts. Those rocks have been captured from the Apollo missions. We have them back on Earth in NASA's vaults. They have moon rocks. We can literally go see them for yourself. They're micro impacts. That's direct evidence that they're from the moon.
And that's what I'm trying to understand too. NASA sent out
Look,
three.
I'm not here to educate you like Bill Nye. I'm here to get your argument for your God.
That's what I'm trying to understand too. Like you believe that we went to the moon, but at the same time, NASA, like
Oh
I'm just
my God, bro.
because we're on the topic of the moon now. No, you said that the moon, you said the atmosphere, you said that.
This is about God. We're not talking about the fucking moon.
You brought up the moon. You just brought up the moon, sir.
You did. You said we didn't go to the moon because I don't know science. That's what
Yeah,
you said.
because that's what I'm trying to understand. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. That like NASA sent out 3 different drones to Mars. Why is it that every single year we get the exact same pictures? Why is it that every single time like
Because
we
the
don't get
Mars
different pictures
doesn't
of Mars?
change. It's the same Mars. Mars doesn't turn green when we're not looking.
I know, but like, why do we get the same pictures every single year?
It's just the same Mars. It doesn't change.
What? You're telling me there's not different structures, there's not different like mountains, there's not different areas in Mars? We are always gonna get the
We
same
have
ones,
tons of pictures of Mars, sir. We have tons of different pictures of mountains
and they're
craters.
all identical.
No, they're not. There's different pictures of Mars, bro. Are you kidding me? This is your.
No,
This is your
I'm
proof
being
that
for it.
you
Yeah,
go to
no,
the
they're
moon?
all identical.
No,
Like,
prove it. Demonstrate they're all identical. I'd love to see this.
I can't post nothing on here. I can't put nothing in the background like you are right now. So
Well,
there's no
the
way for me
funny
to
thing
prove it.
is that all you have to do is look online and look at Martian pictures from the
And they all look the same
You'll see
from
they're
back
all
then to
fucking
now.
different. They're all fucking different. There's Gale
No,
craters, Mount
just
Olympus.
a different shade of color that they put on, a different shade of filter that they put on. I don't
Oh,
believe
really?
this
Okay,
economy.
okay.
I don't
So,
believe society.
So what's your proof of that?
Proof in what?
That it's all the same picture.
On the NASA website, you can go search up
You
Mars,
can
and
go,
they're all the
the
same.
NASA website shows different pictures of Mars.
And they're all the same from back then, back 20 years ago, back
Okay.
10, 15 years ago
So
to now.
if I showed you different pictures of Mars, would you concede you're lost?
Oh, most definitely, yeah. But at the same time,
Okay,
like,
great. Okay, great.
go for it. But at the same time, you just gotta accept God as an individual, that He came down, He is Almighty.
No. You're not going to say God exists without giving any fucking evidence. Give me evidence of God and go away.
You want evidence, but the devil's real. That's enough evidence that all we need.
Oh my God, sir. Look at all these different pictures of the Mars.
So you're gonna believe in the devil, but not believe in Jesus Christ? Not believe in God?
I don't believe in the devil, sir. It doesn't exist.
But haven't you seen like the
Do you
whole
see-
economy?
Sir, do you see different structures on Mars?
That's the same picture right there in different color, like 1, 2, 3.
What? Don't you see those those several different structures, sir?
They all look similar, man. I'm pretty sure if I went down a little bit more, you're just in the Google image, man. You're not even in the website.
They're all literally
Those
fucking
pictures all look
different
the same.
pictures. They're all different pictures.
I can go to the beach, take a picture, and be like, I went to Mars. And people will believe it, man.
No, you can't because there's no water on Mars. Nice try, though.
Yeah, I know. I could just take a picture of the sand, cover it with red, and people will believe that it's Mars. That's what I'm trying to like.
No, sir. We actually know why these are Martian pictures because there's certain geological features that don't exist on the Earth.
So you're atheist?
Oh my God, sir. Yes. What's your evidence of God now?
That's what like. Why is there so many evidence that the devil themselves in our music and our shows and our kids shows?
There is no devil. It's not real. Where's your evidence of the devil?
Okay, then why is all of that coming up if it's not real? Why are like high celebrities bringing it up if it's not real?
I can't believe people like you actually fucking exist.
What do you mean by that?
Do you know how science works?
Yes. What kind of science though?
How does science work?
Like what kind of science? Like engineering, philosophy,
Yeah,
etc.
he
Space.
doesn't know, he doesn't know what science is. Guys, I'm sorry, but this is why I do this. People like this can vote. These people can choose what I do in my future. That's why I'm here. Think, use your brain. I talk about these topics because they invoke thinking, critical thinking skills. They don't understand that we've been to Mars and that we actually can see video footage and photos from Mars, and it really is sad. Please educate yourselves, guys. Please learn what science means. It's a great endeavor. It's a great method.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Hello?
Yeah, what do you got?
I guess what I got is I'm kind of on both sides of the fence. So God, I guess it boils down to what God you believe in, but as far as creator,
Okay, great. What's your evidence of your God?
as far as a creator, I look at it this way. So, and I'm pretty sure you've probably heard about it. You've probably seen, the same argument, but it's kind of like if you look at a custom watch or any custom type of machinery or engineering, there's always a
Watchmaker.
something's created, right? Something's created, and there's things within what's created that work like clockwork, basically, to make things function. Um, you can just look at it just like a fucking cow. Whoever made a cow, the cow was gonna eat grass, the grass, and
Okay. So
it,
you're saying that a building has a builder, a watch has a watchmaker,
right,
therefore
right,
God designed
right.
the universe?
Everything we do, the way the world works, if something just doesn't align the right way, like let's say an asteroid hits the earth or whatnot, or it could be the end of the fucking world. If something just doesn't function the way it's supposed to function, it could be the end of humanity. So everything that
So
is,
what? So what?
what do you mean, so what? So I mean, you got to be literally
Why?
brain.
Why does
Hold
this
on.
matter? Why does it matter that
Wait,
we die? Why
wait,
does
wait,
it
wait,
matter?
wait. Look, I get the way you talk to people, and I get the way you talk over people. Like I get it. That's what you do. That's what makes you. That's what gives you followers.
No, I don't do that for followers. I want actual evidence. I'm trying to gauge where your logic is at, right? You're saying, look around you, Mike, everything has a maker. And I'm trying to show you that the fact that we exist here does not necessitate a God, because you're assuming in your argument that there's something special about our existence, that there's something magical about us, and there's a reason, a cosmic reason that we exist. That is not apparent to me. And you're assuming that for your argument. You're saying if anything was off, we wouldn't be here. So what? Just because we wouldn't be here, why does that matter? How does that give credence to God? Can you do that? Can you show us? Can you show us evidence now? You're unmuted, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Just look at the human body. There's 60,000 miles of cardiovascular system in the human body. 60,000. If you stretch out the cardiovascular system, Google it. It's 60,000 miles
I understand. I
around
understand the
the
human
fucking
body,
world.
sir. Well,
There's
why
no
does this
way
mean
that is
God
a
exists, though?
coincidence. You got to be brain dead, literally fucking brain
No,
dead, to
don't
sit
say
there
that.
and
Don't say
say
that, sir. Listen, listen,
that
listen.
it's a coincidence.
No, we're
There's
not
no
saying that.
way.
We're not saying that. This is why I'm stopping you. You're strawmanning what we believe. Nobody said it's just a coincidence. There could be naturalistic, deterministic reasons why we exist
Okay.
this way. There could be
Okay.
a natural selection process.
Mhm.
Evolution
But
could
who?
explain why we are this way.
So you're telling
You
me there's
never
no creator for that? You're
there's
telling me
no
that
need
it's all coincidence.
there's no need for a creator.
So then what made it?
Nothing made it. We're
You
not
tell me what
made
made it.
by anybody.
What makes it?
Sir, hold on and listen to me carefully. Nothing is ever made. Only change occurs in the universe. There's only changes from one state to another. And that's what it appears to be, that we have changed since we've evolved on the earth. There's no reason why God has to be in the picture here. There could be natural reasons why we are this way. Physics, chemistry, biological reasons why we're here. No evidence of a God.
So you're saying everything is based on science. Who creates that science? Who makes everything function the way it functioned, the way everything kind of chain reacts with everything to make everything work? You're
Again, you're
telling me wait,
supposing who.
you're telling me
You're
that
presupposing.
that's just science and it is what it is. That's basically your train of thought. It's your train of thought
Well,
is so simple
look,
that you're
look,
like
look.
it is what it is. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
that's your train of
No,
thought.
no, no. That's your train of thought because you're saying
Who
there's no
made God?
creator. You're
Who
saying
made
there's
God
no
the way?
creator.
Sir, who made God the way God is? So intricate, so conscious, so intelligent, so powerful. Who made God that way?
That's something me and you won't find out until we die. I mean,
Oh, then why can't I? Then why can't I say the same for the universe? We'll never know. It just is the way it is. Just like you do with God.
so you're saying there's no creation in what's going on. And you're
There's no
wrong.
evidence of a creation.
Just look at it this way: you're breathing in air, you're breathing in oxygen, it goes in through it goes to your lungs feed your veins oxygen to your brain. You're telling me that all that is just science.
Look, sir, it's amazing the way the body works. I agree with you. It's incredible. But it's only incredible to us from our measly human perspectives. Maybe there's a more fundamental reason for these things, but they're still natural. There's just the way the universe operates
Right, right.
for some reason that we just don't understand yet.
Now let me ask you this.
But that doesn't give you the right to say there must be somebody doing this.
Let me ask you
That's
this though.
egotistical.
Let me ask you this. What is it? Do you lose more believing in a God and what that brings as far as to humanity, or is
Yes,
it
I
better
lose
to
way
not
more
believe?
by believing in God. Because with God comes all kinds of ridiculous
Okay,
notions that I'm special, that the universe was made for me, that I'm owed an
right.
afterlife, that there's a purpose why I exist. I think that's nonsense. I think that diminishes your appreciation for things.
Okay,
When you expect so much from the world that
okay,
you're so important, I think that diminishes the value of it.
okay,
From an atheistic perspective, everything means more to me.
okay. Now, let's just say there was never a Bible, there was never the Ten Commandments, there was never a religion, there was never nothing there to tell people what good is and what bad is. Let's just say that never existed. Even now, just look at the way the world operates. We're fucking chaotic. The West is fucking burning down in flames.
Because of religion. It's because of
No,
religion.
it's not because of religion.
Yes, it
Because
is.
you have a lot of people that are doing the bad that don't believe in religion.
Well, religion has set up the foundation for our modern society,
Yeah,
right?
but religion has also set the foundation for good.
Well,
If
okay.
there was no good in
That doesn't
society,
mean
where
that
would
does
we
not
be?
mean
Where
that
would we
that
be as a society?
sir, please listen. That doesn't mean religion is good itself. It does not mean that God exists. People need certain beliefs and systems. I understand that. But there's a lot of bad that comes with religion, right? Religion has been anti-human rights for so long, anti-woman, anti-gay, anti-LGBT. Religion has been so destructive to our society. Yes, there's some good sprinkled in there, but a lot of it has been bad. Also, from your perspective, the West is dying. I think that we are prosperous more than ever before. The world is better.
Jesus.
The
I mean,
world
I'm
is better
sorry,
than
but
it's
okay.
ever been before
Right,
because of
right,
science and
right,
education. The
right.
world is more better. We are more better off today than any time in our history. Less violence, less harm,
Right,
more rights,
right.
more freedoms, more happiness, more abundance
Okay.
than ever before in history.
Let me ask you a quick question. Have you heard or do you know about these societies that have not yet reached?
We're not asking questions, right? This is not a Q&A. This is the debate stage. Next time, bring an argument. Hello? Guys, the world is mysterious. It is. We don't know much about it. But that does not give you the right to say that God did it or I know who did it. Maybe there is no who. We don't know. But if you want the answers and you want to be honest about it, you have to do the work. You have to learn. You have to research, experiment. You can't just say, well, it must be God. It's not a good way to truth. Even science can't prove.
Hello?
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay, what's your argument?
Well, actually, I was just gonna ask you, like, what is like your whole point in this? Are you trying to believe in God, or are you trying to prove to people that God's not real?
Trying to spark conversation. I'm trying to spark
I know,
inquiry into these belief systems.
but like you keep saying God's not real. So my question, I guess, to you is like, do you want God to exist?
I don't know what God is. It's just a word.
Okay, well, like, I guess like I have one God, but different people have different gods, right?
Okay, great.
So
So how do you know that God exists?
we have to look at evil. I mean, realistically, sorry, I'm really out of breath. I was just outside, my bad. Realistically looking at it, you're not going to get evidence of God. And asking for evidence of God isn't going to give you evidence of God. You just kind of
So then
find
how,
God in
okay,
like
great. Okay, great. So then how do you know that God exists? How do you think God exists? Why do you believe in God?
personally, I myself, I was once an atheist. I was an atheist for 4 years.
Okay. Congratulations.
And
Now, how do you know God exists?
so you're very condescending, I'll tell you that. Anyways, I went through a lot of things, and during that time, I kind of realized that without God, there isn't much that you can like really see in life. Like when you have God, you're able to kind of connect things and you have a pathway to follow. Like you're given like a
I have a
path of
pathway
good
to
and
follow.
bad.
I
You're
have a
giving a
pathway
path.
too. Look, I have a faith. I have a pathway too. I don't need God for that.
But look how angry you are.
I'm not angry. It's just that you're not giving any evidence or arguments, right? You don't know who I
That's the thing.
am. So first of
You've
all,
been
you don't
angry.
know
I've
who I
been like,
am. I'm not an angry person. I'm a very happy person and peaceful person. It's just that we're debating right now. This is a debate stage, right? And you're not giving any actual
I think
arguments.
you can
That's why I'm
politely
kind of
debate.
frustrated.
I think you can politely debate and you can also be like rude to people. So you're asking people, you're saying God isn't real. They're coming to you, they're telling you, I believe in God. You're telling them, prove it. Prove it to me. Prove it right now. There is no proof other than the Bible. You have to take that word. And
Okay,
people
great.
believe in
So the
God
Bible.
because
So okay,
but
great.
have
So
you
then you're
asked
saying
yourself why people believe in God?
because they want to believe in something that makes them feel good. I understand that. I know why you believe in God, ma'am. It's not because there actually is one, because you want to feel better about your life, and I understand that. But the
No,
problem is
I
that
do
I
believe
care
that
about
there
what's
is a
true.
God.
I don't care about feeling happy. I care about what is true more than that. And that's why I'm asking these tough questions that you can't answer.
Well, where's your proof that God's not real? The last guy asked you, where's your proof?
I never said I can disprove God. I'm saying that there's
Exactly.
no
So if you can't
evidence of a God.
disprove God, when you look at the world, you're telling me everything happened from the Big Bang.
Do you know what the Big
That
Bang was?
that's
No, hold on. Do you know what the Big Bang was?
yes,
What was it?
big explosion.
Nope. Incorrect. See, you don't even know what you're attacking. This is the problem. You don't even know what you're attacking. The Big Bang was not an explosion, it was an expansion of pre existing space time, it's stretching of space time. So we are actually in the Big Bang right now. We are still part of the Big Bang. We can still see it happening around us. It's not an
Okay, so
explosion. So
how can
that's
you explain
why
how humans were made? How can you explain how all of these species of animals were made? How can you explain how mountains were made?
natural selection, evolution. There is a gradual process of chemical changes that occurred over millions of years, yielding the species that we see today, the biodiversity of life we see today.
Okay, but that's also a theory, right?
No, it's a
The
fact.
Big Bang is a theory.
It's a model, but there's evidence behind it.
Okay, and there's evidence with Christians, and there's evidence with Muslims, and there's evidence
Where?
with
Where?
Hindus.
Where's the biblical evidence of
Well,
God?
first of all, Muslims have the Quran, Catholics have the Bible, Hindus, there's like this book, I forget the name of it. I looked into Hinduism like
I
5
know
years
there's
ago.
books. I know there's books. I have Dr. Seuss too. I'm asking for evidence that these books are true.
That's the thing. You just have to believe it. It gives you a belief. It gives you hope. It gives you
Okay,
a
so then you
guideline
don't.
of good things to
You don't.
follow.
So then you don't actually know that God is real. You just happen to believe it for no reason.
Okay. You don't believe in God. You don't care to believe in God. You want to argue people.
Look,
Have you asked
look.
yourself why you want to argue with people about God?
Yes, because when we talk about these things, people learn. People understand more about the world when we ask these hard questions. And I know it makes you guys mad that I'm asking these hard questions to you, right? Oh, how do you know God exists? Give me the proof. But I'm hard on you guys because I'm hard on myself. I've asked these questions before. I ask these questions every day. I want to know the truth. But we're not going to get there by just simply believing, right? Knowledge isn't just belief. Knowledge is evidence-based, right? Data-based, fact-based. That's knowledge. Not, oh, here's a book and it says a thing and it makes me happy. That's not good evidence. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Great. What do you got?
How do you explain the archaeological finds of the Bible?
Like, for example, give an example.
Okay. Uh, they claim that they found Noah's Ark on top of Mount Ararat. That would be a find. Okay.
Okay, great. So do you have a scientific source for that?
Yeah. Factual source. And how do you explain the fact that Jesus
No,
Christ
no,
is
sir, you're not going to ask me questions forever. You're going to give me a source eventually, right? Give the source. Where's the ark?
Mount Ararat? Now,
Okay, where's your source for that claim?
okay, you can see videos of it on YouTube, things like that. But look at this,
Sir,
okay?
sir, YouTube is not a source, unfortunately. I don't want a Netflix show. I want scientific archaeological evidence, not YouTube.
How do you explain, like I say, the archaeological finds that they found?
All right, have a good day, sir. Have a good day.
What's going on, brother?
Hi, how can I help you?
Hello?
Yep.
Hold on, I can't hear you for a second. Hold on. Let me see.
You're patient. I try. I try my best, guys. It's hard to be always patient, but I'm trying.
Yeah, as soon as I joined, your audio cut out. So, hold on.
Can you hear me now? Just come back in a second. I'll bring you up in a second. Just if you come back. Okay. Keep tapping, guys. Thank you guys for this great live. We have a great live today. And look, guys, I know you guys might not like me. I understand that. And I'm not here to say God's not real. Absolutely, right? I could be wrong. But these discussions are good. I think they're healthy. They're healthy. It's healthy to talk about these things. I'm not here to say that you must be wrong, you can't be right. I'm not saying that necessarily, right? I'm here to say that maybe there are better questions to ask. Maybe there's another way of thinking, right? That's all. I'm not a bad guy. I'm really not. Hi, how can I help you?
Yeah, dog, I can't hear you. I don't know why. Sorry.
Okay. What's up, Jose? How are you?
All right. So I'm not going to talk about the God part, but gender
Yeah.
wise,
How old are you?
that doesn't matter.
You got to be above 18, guys. At least above 18 or 19.
Hello.
Hi, how can I help you?
God is real, okay? And gender is not a spectrum. First thing, all infants are born bisexual. How the child interprets love, security,
Okay,
and the
okay,
bonding
sir,
process determines which way it will go.
sir. Okay. Um, so first of all, where's your evidence of God, and how do you know that genders must be binary?
Okay. First thing, I never said it was binary, but first thing, we live in the physical realm. Is that correct or am I wrong?
Okay, I
Okay.
can agree with that
So
assumption.
everything that's in the physical realm has a genealogy back towards nothing. To nothing. And then they say, well, then we had a big bang.
What?
Well,
What do you mean nothing?
everything in the physical realm has a genealogy back to nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
Well, to avoid nothing.
I don't agree there. I don't think
Okay.
there's a board.
Where did the planets come from? Where did you come from? You have a father.
Okay, yeah, these are good questions.
Okay.
Where did the planets come from? Well, the problem is that matter and energy seems to be always conserved in the universe.
Where-
It doesn't
okay,
appear
where-
as if we could make it.
But
So
where
it could have always existed in some way.
How? Then, if it's existed, that means it had to be created.
No, it was perhaps always there.
How?
Why not? Why can't it always be there?
Well, because it had to originate from something.
Why?
It had to.
Why?
Why? Well, it has to. Where did it come from?
Okay, well, where did God come from?
Okay. The first thing, God is not of this dimension. God is in another dimension.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Where did God come from?
What's that? Well, we can't understand that because we're not in that dimension. We're in the physical
Okay, great. So if you're going to say that we don't understand where God came from, why not just say we don't understand where the universe came from?
But
why do you have to say it's a void? Why
don't-
can't you say, well, we don't know?
It had to come from somewhere. Like if you take the genealogy of everything back to nothing, it had to appear somewhere.
Okay.
And people said,
Sir, is it possible that the universe physically was always there?
No.
Is that possible?
No, not possible.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, why is that impossible? Why can't that be the case?
Because, okay, take yourself for instance. You have a father who has a father who has a father who right back to nothing. Goes right back to nothing.
No, why can't it go back to forever and ever?
Because it has to have.
And not people, right?
Okay.
Of course, life itself emerged from the earth chemically.
No.
But why can't it go forever in time back to some primordial state that we don't understand yet?
Okay. If you take a look at our life only, we are like a grain of sand in the concept of universe. We are so small, where our insignificance in the universe is what makes us significant. Okay? Okay. So everything in this universe goes back to nothing. They say the Big Bang, okay? But even if we had a Big Bang, prior to the Big Bang, there had to be the laws of physics.
Well, we don't know what the laws of physics were. They break down at the Big Bang. The Big Bang's the end of our understanding of the universe.
No, it's the beginning.
There could be something beyond that, the Big Bang. We don't know.
Exactly. Exactly right, my friend.
But it could go on forever. We don't know. There could be a multiverse that goes on forever. We don't know.
Ask yourself this. Why was all this here created?
You're presupposing a why.
Okay.
Why is God there, right? The why questions are
because we're here. We just didn't appear out of nothing.
Sir, I never said we did.
Okay.
We could have always existed, and there's no reason why we had to come from a God.
What? I'm not saying we came from a God that's in the Bible. The religious texts, I believe, are wrong. It's our interpretation of life that created.
Okay, so what's your evidence of your God?
I do not have a God that's in a religious.
Okay, have a good day. I'm sorry, I just can't. Oh, I tried.
Hello?
How can I help you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 19. Hold on one second. I'm 19. So I mean, I have a few stuff that so my first question is, what makes you think that God isn't real? Just curious.
Oh, there's no evidence.
Well, because like let's talk about science, because if you look at science, it says gravity, if gravity was slightly more powerful, the universe would collapse. And if it was less powerful, there would be no stars, so there would be no earth. So how do you think the universe is precisely as strong as it needs to be and is precisely as weak it needs to be in order for us to live? Because
Yeah, well, first of all, nobody said.
can you hear me?
Yeah, your connection's terrible. Okay. Nobody said. Hold on, let's just listen to me. You are presupposing that there could be an alternative universe out there. We don't know if that's the case. It could be that perhaps this universe is the only possible universe. We don't know that. However, the other option is that there are a multitude of universes, each with their own laws of physics, and it just happens to be that ours is this way. And there's other universes with different laws of physics and different beings in them. So imagine a landscape of universes with different laws. There seems to be nothing special about ours in that case. It seems to be that we are just probabilistically here. So you're assuming that there's something special about the universe. Why?
Because think about it this way. How do you think you are able to wake up every day in the morning? Like, what's your idea of waking up every day in the morning? Just curious.
I don't know. Your question is malformed. Look, just because we wake up in the morning does not mean God exists, right? We wake up
Exactly,
for
because like,
physical reasons. There's
because
clearly
like,
laws in nature that we abide by.
yeah, no, but like, think about it. We breathe air every day. But what evidence do we actually have that air exists? We don't have anything. Just as
Sure we do. Sure we do. We can put it into a container, right? I can put air into
we
a
don't,
bottle. It's volume. It's I can measure its density, its
but you
volume, its
can't see
pressure.
it. But you can't.
We can see it with other
Yeah, but you
measuring
can't see
devices.
the air. You can't physically see it.
We can see it with
I don't
not
think you
just with our
can, but
eyes.
same way as in God. We believe in God. I don't think
Yeah,
there's any
that's
proven things
okay.
that have shown us that.
Your Wi-Fi is terrible. Again, guys, we can see air. When I say see, I don't mean with our eyes. I mean with indirect ways. We can put air into a bottle. We can measure its pressure, right? I can blow air into my hand. That's evidence of air, right? I can put air into a balloon. I can measure its volume, its density, its mass. I can measure these things. Air is measurable. God is not. That's the problem. I don't have to see it with my eyes. There's other ways to measure it.
Yo, you trying to box me? Kick me out so you can box me.
Can you measure love? Yes. Love is a chemical process in the brain. We can also see behavioral differences in people.
That other guy left.
Yeah. How old are you?
23.
Okay. What's your argument?
Well, firstly, I do have a question, a big question, but like, hold on, let me just get my train of thought. So you're so I've seen other people like you, other streams that I don't know if it's whether say like God isn't real or God is real, prove to me that God is or isn't real or whatever. Is the purpose of this to try and assert some sort of elitism to your own beliefs, or is the
Sir,
purpose of it to actually genuinely try and understand?
I'm just trying to spark conversation. Who cares about why I'm here? Why did you come up? What's your evidence of God?
What's my evidence?
Yeah.
I said I was going to get to that, but yes, I don't have evidence myself of a physical deity. But
Okay. Have a good day.
Hello?
Hello? Hi.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
about now?
You sound like Darth Vader.
My bad. Can you hear me now?
Okay, it's better.
Is that it's good though, right?
It's acceptable. What do you got? Just get to it.
All right, so I wanted to start talking about like the scriptures and how it resonates with scientifics, and there's a few things in the Bible and the scriptures that line up with science and today's science and like all that stuff. The Bible was ahead of its time. It was very advanced for its time, so
No,
I
it
could pull up
wasn't.
a
The Bible's a bunch of garbage. Talking snakes, talking donkeys, flat Earth, sun orbiting the sun. It's nonsense. How do you know the Bible shows God exists?
because 12 12 disciples for that time, and I'm not saying you have to like believe it,
There's
but
also 12 dwarfs in Snow White. Who cares? I'm asking
and
about evidence
I'm
that
not
God
asking you to
exists.
care, but I'm just saying part of the Bible that is on faith, but also listen, there you know how Jesus was crucified and he was brought to the I forgot what it was called. I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think. The tombstone, whatever. You know the robe that he was wrapped up in. You could search this up too. I would like it actually if you searched it up.
I did.
And there's
Luckily, I did. It's called the Shroud
okay,
of
good.
Turin. It's called the Shroud of Turin. And guess what? It's been dated to the 13th century. It's been debunked. It's not Jesus's robes. Even if it was, who cares about robes? I care about a resurrection. Where's your
So
evidence of a God, not a guy?
can I find your evidence about how that was debunked?
Sure, I can give you a study that shows that's dated to the 13th century, but this is
Thank
not
you.
relevant to your argument, right? Like,
Well,
you there?
yeah, I'm sorry.
You
Someone
there?
was calling. Hello?
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Sir,
just
what do
reading up
you
stuff.
have for us? What's your argument?
My argument is, like I said in the beginning, there is many scriptures that resonate with scientifics today, and I could prove that to you by bringing up all these articles, proven articles, EDUs, college
Come on,
places.
sir.
Yeah,
Okay. Give me one article that demonstrates God exists. Come
I was
on.
trying to tell you. I asked you for the evidence that
Yeah,
was
it's
that debunked it.
radiocarbon dating of the Shroud of Turin shows this from the 13th century. That's the study. That's what the study's called in Nature magazine from 1989.
Read a line that proves that it is false and debunked.
They measured it. Measure procedures. Uh, The results of radiocarbon measurements at Arizona, Oxford, and Zurich yield a calibrated calendar age range with at least a 95% confidence for the linen of the Shroud of Turin of AD 1260 to 1390.
Hold on, that doesn't really say anything. All that says is a measurement was wrong.
That doesn't say anything, sir.
There
It's
was
radiocarbon dated. It's been dated.
hold on. There was
Show that it's
living
wrong. Show that
DNA.
it's wrong. Show that it's wrong.
DNA that is alive and prospering on the robes. That shows that Jesus therefore
No,
has
it's
not
not.
died.
Where's your source that there's DNA
Okay.
on the robe and then it's from Jesus? Bro, get off your McDonald's. Leave McDonald's and get back to your home where you can find the source, okay?
What's up?
Hi.
So let me ask you this. Do you believe I'm real?
Yeah, we can hear you talking.
How is that any different from me hearing God talking?
Because there's nobody on the other side of the line.
Well, what I'm saying is you have evidence, right, that I'm real through a voice. How do you know that
Yeah.
I'm not AI or another computer?
Well, that's a different story. You said, "Are you real?" And yeah, there's something
How do
real
you know
about you.
that?
You're
How do you know
talking
that?
to
How do
me.
you
There's
know I'm not
something.
a computer?
I don't know that you're not AI, but the problem is that's not the matter of contention here, right? That's not the
Well,
claim you
this is
asked
what
me.
I'm getting at. This is what I'm getting at. And I'm same aspect of you believing that I'm real because there's evidence saying when people jump on live and talk willingly like this, that it's more than likely a human. But as far as you know, I could be a computer. I could be
Okay, great. And how do you know that God talked to you and not just your own self in your subconscious?
same aspect is how do you know that I'm talking to you and it's a computer not talking to you?
I love how you deflected that question. It was such a great, that was like Matrix, Neo from the Matrix. Great job. Can you answer the question? How do you know that when you talk to God, it's actually a God and not your subconscious?
Because I can base it off scripture, can verify that.
Okay, what did God say to you?
He's talked to me a lot of things. I've flown across the country for him, putting a revival going on in May.
What did he say to you? What does he sound like? Like Morgan Freeman? Darth Vader?
No, he would sound. First of all, you'd have to understand the communication is. I was never a believer until I met an angel, right? Rocked my world, and I seen it in the flesh in person. Okay,
Sir, I don't want your life story. I want how you know you talk to an angel.
how do I know he was standing right in front of me?
Okay, what is he white?
No, he was. Well, he was like golden bronze, a very intense color.
So R so R2D2 color?
No, it was more like it's really hard to describe. It was something
Okay.
that you can't see in this world
Okay. How do you know that this was an angel and not just hallucination or a dream?
because I just knew as soon as I seen him, and I'd never seen one before. I didn't grow up in churches. I didn't grow up. I thought angels were these things that floated around in the clouds and played harps and whatnot.
Sir. How do you know you saw a golden angel?
Because I witnessed it with my eyes, and I spoke
I
to him.
know. Was it like a human shape?
He was, but he is huge. He's like 9 foot tall. Yeah, monstrous.
Okay, so this 9-foot guy was standing next to you, golden. What did he say to you? Hello there, young man.
No, he sure didn't.
What did he say?
He was explaining to me about a war going on, and I was very confused because I did not think angels fought wars until I started digging into scripture to base that. The same scripture that bases that God's talking to me when I
Okay,
back up with it.
okay. What war was it? What war?
The last war before Jesus' return.
Okay, are you serious right now?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay. And how do you know this wasn't a dream?
Because I was walking. I was sitting at the edge of my bed and I stood up and I was walking and I went back to bed after that. I stood up.
You
I
slept
used the
walk.
restroom. I flushed
You
the
were in
toilet.
your
I
room
watched the water
sleeping
go
and you
down.
woke up and you slept and you were sleepwalking and then you went back to bed. You were streaming.
How do you know you're not
Oh
dreaming
my
right now? How
gosh,
do you know you're
bro.
not dreaming right
Oh
now?
my god. He had a dream. Oh my gosh, bro. I can't. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Oh, these people can vote.
What do you mean by God isn't real?
How old are you?
I just turned 18.
Well, I don't see any evidence of God. Do you?
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, cool. Here, hold up. There. That was my brother.
Next.
Hi, I'm a friendly. I'm not ops. Are you only looking for ops?
Well, what do you got?
Oh, I wanted to come up and actually talk to the person who just left, but
Okay.
no, but
Thank
yeah,
you. Hello?
Yo, what's up, the goat?
Hi, what do you got?
Listen, bro, you really fruity, but it's okay, man. Like you have my blessing, bro. I got you. And if you need to get pussy, bro, just hit me up, bro.
Don't worry about it. Mama tonight. It's all good.
Good
Hey,
evening. Sir.
yeah.
So, are you a believer of faith? Not God in a sense, but faith in believing something that is beyond yourself.
What does it even mean? Yeah, I believe in things beyond myself, like the
More
sun.
specifically, an intelligence beyond the thinking mind.
No, I don't think there's intelligence out there in the universe.
So, do you believe in free will?
No. No. Do you have evidence of God now?
Sure. When I
Great.
feel the wind or when I feel the sunlight, I interpret that with my perspective as warmth or the breeze. Now, without describing to another person or communicating that, I feel in essence good. And I think that God is an all-encompassing, not deity, but experience. So God separated.
Okay, so you're saying God is like happiness, right? Like,
No, I'd say God is. And with that statement being said, not separating the bad things in life from the good things.
Yeah, I'm not doing that nonsense.
What's up, bro?
How old are you?
28.
Okay, what do you got?
I agree with you. God isn't real, but I do think that gender is a spectrum statement is ridiculous. It's not.
Okay, why?
Because we've gotten to a point where we accept any definition of gender as being valid when that's just not the case. Like, you have a lot of good points I understand God isn't real. I agree with you, but the gender conversation is where it kind of goes
right?
off the rails.
You're just talking. Like, how do you know that gender is binary? Why do you think?
You get mad at people saying God isn't real. They think that God is real, right? You think that gender is a spectrum. It's just
No,
gender.
we actually no. Do you know gender is an actual real thing, sir? Gender is a neurochemical phenomenon in the brain. We can see sexuality in the brain. We understand how there's different sexes of brains. It's a very real phenomenon. In terms of gender identity, that is socially constructed by society. A man and a woman are genders. Do you agree?
I agree with that. It's socially constructed. That's not science.
Exactly. It's psychology, right?
That's not science.
Yes, it is.
That's not
Psychology
gender is not. Gender's a fact.
Yes, you already believe that there's a man and woman.
I believe that there's male and female. That's a fact.
Those are sexes. Those are not genders. There's a difference.
You can prove sex. You can't prove.
Genders are just look. Do you agree that a man is a woman? A man is a gender.
Man is a gender. Yes, what we've socially constructed.
Okay. So there's a man that's a gender. Genders are real things. They're just socially constructed. Now, do you know what a transgender person is?
I don't think. Yeah, yes, I know what a transgender person is.
What are they? Who are they?
It's someone who has a psychological disorder when they are born a female.
No, no,
Yes,
there is no
yes.
disorder. Okay, great. So then show me that it's a mental illness.
You have a delusion. It's a
No, it's not a delusion.
psychological.
No, no,
It's
no. Show me that it's a mental illness.
What?
With
Where does it
sources and data.
where does it derive
And
from?
data. The brain, just like all other genders.
Where do mental illnesses
Sexuality.
derive? Where do mental illnesses derive from?
Okay, do you think it's mental illness to be gay?
No.
But it derives from your brain.
That's what is it based off of? Sex.
Just because your sexuality is dependent on your brain does not make it a mental illness. Okay? So it is not a mental illness to be trans. It is perfectly normal and natural.
I don't think so.
The brains. Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
Well, then you're wrong, right? Because we have sources that demonstrate you're wrong. We can study the brains of transgender people, and we see that their brain structures match their gender identities, not their sexes.
So question. So if someone identifies as, I just want to see where the validity is. If someone identifies as you've probably heard more than I have, a ridiculous claim identifies as an airplane. Is that
That's
valid?
obviously ridiculous. That's not analogous at all to sex. That's not identical
So
at all to gender.
it has to be analogous to sex to be valid.
It has to be analogous to gender. Gender is just simply a social construct.
Gender has to be analogous to gender?
No. Whatever you're saying has to be analogous to gender, and an airplane is not analogous. Of course, nobody's an airplane.
But then what
people can be
determines
different genders? Because gender is part of the brain process.
so non-binary? How is non-binary analogous to gender when it's not analogous to either man or woman?
Do you know what a non-binary person is?
A non-binary person is someone who doesn't identify as a man or a woman.
Exactly.
So how
That's
can
the
it be
point.
analogous to a man or a woman when it's not analogous to a man or a woman?
Because there is no objective definition for what a man or woman is. It's just a social.
So why is it valid? So how is that? How is gender? So why is gender valid if there's no such thing as a man or a woman?
There is such a thing as a man or woman. It's just cultural.
You just said there is no such thing as a man or a woman.
I never said that. I said there's no objective definition, right?
So it's all subjective.
Look, for example.
So an airplane can be a man.
Sir, stop. No. Again, a man or woman are just characteristics that we align with in society. So, for example, a man is typically in America somebody who's masculine, who has short hair, who likes, hunting and fishing. That's a man, right? This is typically the gender roles of a man, right? In some other countries, in some other cultures, a man is somebody who doesn't do those things. Sometimes other people, they wear wigs, they like long hair, they wear dresses. Some cultures do that, right? So you as a person identify according to whatever society you're in as a man. A transgender person is somebody who doesn't identify according to the definitions you prescribe them in a society. So, for example, you, Cooper, if I called you a woman, would you disagree?
Yes, I would disagree.
Great. And it feels uncomfortable, right, to be called a woman, right?
Because I don't think that man and woman is subjective. I am objectively a man.
Right. So now,
in any culture,
imagine taking somebody's brain, like your brain, putting it in a female body.
Yes.
You would not want to be called a man anymore, right?
They are objective, but unfortunately, they would be objectively.
Sir, Cooper, please just listen to the scenario.
Okay.
Imagine if I put your brain in a female's body.
Yes.
It's still your thoughts, right? You would not want to be called a woman, right?
Unfortunately, I would be wrong. No,
no. Listen, you're not listening.
I am
You would,
listening.
you would still think you're a man, right?
No, I would realize that I have a mental illness and I need to get treated.
No. You're smuggling that nonsense in. I'm asking you for the sake of the argument.
Yes.
Imagine if I took your brain and I put
Okay.
it into a female's body.
Yes.
Would you think that you're a man still?
I would think in my brain that I'm a man, but I would know something is very wrong and I need to seek help.
Exactly. There you go. That's what transgender means. You don't feel comfortable in your own body because your society says that you're something that you're not. There's nothing wrong with a transgender person. Stop.
I
Cooper.
would be
Cooper,
mentally.
Stop. There is nothing mentally wrong with somebody who's transgender. It is not a mental disorder. It is not a mental illness. There's no disorder, dysfunction going on. They're perfectly normal. They have your brain. They have your brain in somebody else's body.
No, I have my brain in a.
Stop. You're not going to do this nonsense. It's so simple. Guys, I know you guys are all transphobics, but just listen to me. All a transgender person is a male brain in a female body. That's it. Your sexuality comes from your brain. And when you transfer your brains to other bodies, right, you wouldn't consider yourself a woman anymore, even though you have a female body. That's the point. Transgender people don't feel comfortable in the genders that you prescribe them. That's why they are aligned with other genders than you prescribe them.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong. This is prenatal hormones that are causing this. It's brain chemistry. And it's not an illness.
Their brain chemistry is wrong.
Just like it's not an ill. No, there's nothing wrong with their brains. What's wrong with their brains? What's wrong with their brains?
There is something that something did not align. Something did not align correctly.
What's wrong with the brain?
I have a question, Mike. Here, I have a question.
No. What's wrong with their brains? What's wrong?
I just told you something did not align correctly. That is wrong.
No.
If a line breaks,
Super,
something
stop. I'm asking you a simple question. What is wrong with their brain? Not their body, their brain. What is wrong with their brains?
Their brain is not aligned correctly. If you have a line with a break in it, something is wrong with the line.
How is their brain misaligned? Where's the misalignment in their brain?
Because it is a let's use a female for example.
No, sir. Where is the misalignment in the brain?
Is it typical? Actually, I won't ask you a question. You don't like that. You don't like when
that doesn't make it wrong. That doesn't make it an illness. What is wrong with their brains?
They think that they are a different gender than they actually are.
No, you're assuming
that is wrong.
You're assuming that they're the gender that you want them to be.
I don't want them to be anything.
You are forcing them to be a woman when they're not. That's your problem.
I'm not forcing anything.
Yes, you are, because there is no objective definition of what a woman is.
There is an object. There is.
No, there isn't. Show it to me. Show me that there's something wrong with their brains. There's nothing wrong.
The reason there's no
dysfunction.
The reason there's no. Listen to me. I agree with you on almost. I would say 90%.
I don't give a fuck if you agree with me. You're wrong here. You're wrong here. And you're not going to be transphobic on my live. You're not. Listen carefully. Gender, according to the World Health Organization, is characterized as traits, roles, and things like that, socially discovered, socially made. It is not an illness to have a transgender brain at all. There's nothing wrong with a transgender brain.
There is something wrong, whether you want to call it an illness or not.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
It is not aligned correctly. That is wrong. It's not saying that they're bad people.
Where's the illness in the brain? What's the issue?
The issue is for the 50th time. I'm not going to swear. You don't like that either, probably. The illness is there is something wrong. There is something that is not aligned correctly.
What's wrong is you are wanting them to be a man when they're not.
Someone who wants to go
There's nothing.
unalive
Look,
someone,
Cooper,
there's something
stop,
wrong.
stop. Again, imagine your brain. There's nothing wrong with your brain, right, Cooper? There's nothing wrong with it.
Currently in my male body,
Okay,
no, there's
great,
nothing wrong with my brain.
great. Now imagine if your brain I put into a female body. Would there be something wrong with your
Then
brain?
I'm wrong. Then
No,
something is wrong.
no, Cooper, listen carefully. If I put your brain,
I'm not dumb.
Sir,
I'm not.
Stop. Listen. If I put your brain into a female body, would there be something wrong with your brain?
Yes.
What's
For the
wrong with your brain? What would be
I
some,
think
what's
that
wrong with your
I'm a.
brain?
I think that I would think that I'm a man in a female body.
No.
That's wrong.
But you already feel that right now.
I'm in
You
a
already
male
feel you're a man.
body.
You already feel you're a man.
It's all lined. I'm all good. I'm all good in the hood, bro.
So do you think being cisgender is an illness?
No, everything's aligned.
Okay, great. So again, your brain is still perfectly fine.
In my male body.
Stop. It doesn't matter about the body. We're talking about the brain.
They codepend on.
Listen, Cooper. Listen. Your brain has nothing wrong with it. Now imagine if I take your brain and put it into a female body. There's still nothing wrong with the brain. It's the same brain. There's nothing wrong with it. Just like a transgender person, there's nothing wrong with their brains. They're perfectly normal, happy, and safe and sound. Their brains are perfectly fine and healthy. That's why it's not classified as a mental disorder.
Your whole
It's not classified as a mental illness. So show me where the mental illness is. And if you're gonna say that, oh, their bodies are misaligned, that's not true. It's not that their bodies are misaligned. It's that their gender is misaligned because you prescribed them the gender that they didn't want. It's your fault they're misaligned because they are brought up in a society that says that they're invalid. That's your fault. That's your misalignment. Not the transgender people.
Talk, please.
They are perfectly healthy and fine. Do you understand what I just told you?
Yes.
Then where's the mental illness? Show me a source that says being trans is a mental illness. Go.
They are not happy and fine. Is
Yes,
the problem that we
they
have
yes,
here?
They are happy
No,
and
they're
fine.
not.
Their brains are
see.
happy and fine.
They're not healthy and fine, which is why they.
No.
They are not because they seek medical.
Stop. They seek medical assistance.
No, they're
because
not healthy.
People like you make them feel like shit.
Misinformation.
It's not misinformation, jackass.
Oh.
Learn some fucking science. The world, stop being transphobic.
Being fine.
Stop it. Stop being so transphobic and listen to what I'm saying.
Self, you keep muting me.
Stop. You're done. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You guys just want to come up here and be transphobic. Listen to me. There is nothing wrong with being transgender. There's no illness involved. The reason why there are different brain structures is because of hormones when you're born. And this applies to all sexualities. Guys, being gay is not a mental illness. For hundreds of years, people thought it was a mental illness to be gay. Now we know it's not. There's nothing wrong with them. Just like you guys are saying today, that there's something wrong with being trans. There's nothing wrong with them. You just don't want them to be the thing you want them to be. They want to be. They come up and they live in a society where you're telling them that they're a man when they don't want to be a man. They don't want to drive trucks and have short hair. They want to have long hair. Why is that? Where does that urge come from? Their brains. They didn't choose it. You don't choose to be gay. You don't choose to be trans. These are mental things, brain things. And there's nothing wrong with them. That's why the DSM shows that there is no disorder. It's not a mental illness to be trans. It's not a mental illness at all. They're just people like you and me. Just like there's nothing wrong with being gay, there's nothing wrong with being bi, there's nothing wrong with being trans. There's nothing wrong with these things. They're not even harming you. They're not even harming you. So why even be transphobic? Why even be so against this when they're not harming you in any way? But also, there's science that backs it up. Science backs up being trans. It's perfectly normal, perfectly natural, and harms nobody. I don't tolerate transphobia here, so that's why I kicked them. Hey,
How's it going, man? So I heard your last debate. I'm not really interested in the God isn't real because I think that's just like a belief. Either you believe or you don't. Um, but the gender is a spectrum, so that's a little interesting. So you think there's like, well, I mean, let me see if we can find like some common ground at least. So obviously, I'm assuming you're gonna say there's like multiple genders and gender and sex are different.
Yep.
Okay, so at least we found some, common ground there. So how many genders do you think there are?
Many. I don't know. There's many, depending on the culture, the society.
Would you have like a number? Because I think that like kind of
So
matters.
why does it matter how many there are? It's just cultural. It's just societal. Who cares?
Because I think there should be a sort of number on there. Because if there isn't a number, then anything can be labeled as a different gender. That's my like point.
Not anything, but within a society or culture, gender roles or refers to certain characteristics that are tethered to sex. They're tethered to gender. They're tethered to sexuality. It's not that you can just say, "Oh, I'm a plane today, so that's a new gender." No, that's
Yeah.
stupid. Nobody ever says that. That's a miscategorization of what it means to be, what gender means. Gender is tied to many things according to sex, to sexuality, not at all tied to, physiology or anything like that. So what's your point here?
Well, the whole point was like to ask you like how many genders you think there are, because there should be a specific number. Because
No, there shouldn't be
then
a specific number because it depends on your culture. It depends on where you are. There is no defined number. That makes no sense. So what is your point?
my point is that there should be a specific number.
Why?
Because if
Why?
there isn't, because
Why?
because if there isn't a specific number, then that term is even more broader. So then there can be new terms every day. Is my point.
Okay, and what's wrong with that?
Because in a society you have certain there's certain terms, and there's like obviously like statistics to everything. So like if
And who
there's
makes up the
no
terms?
set
We make
number,
up the terms. We make up the terms. They're just made up by us. The terms don't matter. The labels don't matter. What matters is that people are treated fairly and they are accommodated for in our society. We don't just treat them like trash. Oh, you're not a man, you're a woman. That's stupid. They're
well,
just people like you and me. There's no reason to say that they're not valid because of their identity.
well, no, yeah, no, that of course I'm just talking from like a human rights perspective. I'm just saying like if someone believes that they're a different gender than the one that they're um born with, that's where the issue lies. Because
Why?
then
Why is there an issue with that?
because it's a belief that's not right.
Why is it wrong?
Because if I'm a male and I believe I'm a woman, uh bi biology and society tells me differently.
Again, you agreed from the beginning that that gender is not sex. Gender is not sex. Sex is chromosomal. Gender is neurochemical. There's a difference there,
Exactly.
right?
So what
So you can be born a male but have a female brain. Hence, you would consider yourself a woman.
Yeah, but then it goes back to belief.
Okay, great. So then you agree that there's transgender, right?
Like people agree that they're transgender. Yeah, they can believe that they're transgender, but
No, they are transgender. We don't just believe we're transgender. We are transgender, right?
meaning
Because that's how the brain operates.
meaning a biological man can be a woman and a biological woman can be a man, right?
Yes, gender is not sex. Gender is not your genitals. It's social.
Okay, but your belief and what you actually are two different things. So like it's basically the same thing with like the God isn't real, just a belief versus a non-belief.
There's not a belief here. Gender is not a belief.
Yeah, yeah, it
Gender
is.
is
You just
identity.
said it.
It is identity. It is socially constructed by society. Look, in America,
Exactly, which is a belief.
look, in America, we think men are people that have short hair. They like the army. They like the, to be masculine. That's just a socially constructed word to describe that particular kind of person, right? But
Yeah,
what a man is just a word. It's culture, it's societal.
it
There's no law of the universe that says this must be a man. There's no such thing.
no, the
What a
belief.
man
Yeah, the
is, what a woman are not objective. They're completely subjective to our society
yes,
and
but the thing.
cultural.
Yeah, but the things you mentioned are the beliefs of that person. I'm not talking about the beliefs
No,
of that person. I'm talking about this the
you don't
specific
believe you're, no,
biology.
sir, please, you don't believe you're transgender. It's a neurochemical thing. You don't just believe it, right? You are transgender. You don't choose your gender necessarily. What happens is people that are transgender are born into a society that does not align with how they feel, identify. That's all that
Exactly,
means.
which is a belief.
No, it's not a belief. It's them not identifying with the world around them that says there's something different. And that's the point, right? Imagine if I called you a woman. Would you like that?
I mean, I wouldn't really like put too much weight on you calling me a woman because I know I'm a man.
Imagine if I called you a woman and it said you have to go into the girls' bathroom all the time. Would that be okay to you?
That would be wrong.
Exactly. That's how trans people think. It's wrong to force them to be in the bathrooms they don't want to be in. It's wrong to force them
Well,
genders they don't want to be in. They don't want that gender. They don't want it to be called a woman. They want to be called a man. Because
yeah, but
that's how their brain works, just like yours. They have the same brain as you. Literally,
mm,
the same sex. The brains have different sexes. A male has a different brain from a female, and there's all kinds of nuances there and complexities.
but if you're
But
born a certain sex and then you believe that you're not that sex, like your biology tells you you're not. That's why there's
no,
like
biology has nothing to do with it. Biology is
it has
irrelevant
a
here.
major part to do with it.
No, neurochemistry is what determines what we identify as, who we identify as, how our sexuality operates, not our
Which are
biology.
chemicals in your brain,
Yes,
right? Okay.
the neurochemistry
Which
determines your sexuality.
goes back to your beliefs, believing you're something
Okay,
that you're not.
do you think people believe that they're gay, or are they gay?
They're gay, but sex is different.
They're
Like
gay.
because you're talking about like
It's not a belief,
being
sir. Sir, being gay is not a belief. It's who you are,
you're talking
just like
about being sexually
trans.
attracted to something though,
Yeah,
not what
just
you
like being
believe you're
trans.
attracted
Just like
to.
being trans. It's the same process.
But it's biology versus faith. I mean versus belief. I'm sorry.
No, it's not a. Again, you don't just believe you're gay. It's not a
You
belief.
exactly. Yeah, you
Being
brought up the
gay is not a
argument that
belief.
yeah, you brought up the argument that you don't believe you're gay.
Sir, please listen. Do you think being gay is a belief?
It's biological.
Just like
You're
trans,
attracted to
just like,
someone.
well, it's not biological, it's neurochemical to be specific. But yes, it's still tied to your neurochemistry, which means it's not just a belief. It is who you are.
Yeah, but that's different because that's something that's you being attracted to the same sex.
How is
If
it
you're like
different?
talking about gay or lesbian, that's not you believing you're attracted to someone. It's you actually being attracted to that certain sex or same sex or either gay or lesbian, whatever the case may
Right, but
be. That's what I'm saying.
just
So that's where your
imagine sex.
argument
Right,
kind of
not
falls apart.
look. I understand what you're saying, but the same process applies to gender, right? Just like I think I'm a man and I have manly thoughts. I want to be called a man, right? I don't like Barbies. Sometimes people are born with brains that are contrary to their to their physiology. They have female brains and male bodies, so they would consider consider themselves a woman. It's really this simple. You guys are overcomplicating things because you're so used to it being man or woman.
Well,
But
yeah,
you're
because
not
it's been like that
recognizing
the
the
last like
complexity.
hundreds
You're
of
not
years.
recognizing the complexity of our brains.
Because mentally it doesn't make sense.
Why? Why doesn't it make sense to you? It's simple.
Let me give you an
A
example.
transgender is a male in a male brain in a
Let
female
me.
body, or vice versa. It's not
Okay,
simple.
so let's say I heard the last argument you were speaking with the guy about him being he was a man. You're like, okay, what if you put his brain into I think you said a woman's brain, a woman's body, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're born a certain sex, right, and you believe you're the other sex, those are two completely different scenarios. That's a very
Nobody
specific.
believes they're a different. Nobody believes they're a different sex. It's not what it means to be transgender.
But that's what you
You
just
don't.
said.
No, it doesn't. They believe they're a different gender.
Yes, but your biology tells you you're not. Just because if I
Gender is
believe
not.
I'm a
Gender
woman, do I
isn't
get? If I
biological.
believe
Gender is
I'm a
not
woman,
biological. Gender is not biological.
if I believe I'm a woman, do I get periods? No.
You don't believe. Sure, you don't believe you're a woman. You don't just randomly wake up one day and go, "I believe I'm a woman." That's not how transgender works. It has.
Exactly,
It's
because
when
it's
you're
biological.
born with it. You're born a transgender. You're born transgender
You're born a
because your
woman and a man.
brain. No, no, that's sex. Why is this so hard for people, guys? You are born a male or female. That's
Okay.
chromosomal. Okay, that has to do with your chromosomes.
Mm-hmm.
But how you identify, how your gender identity is, that's not your. That has to do with your neurochemistry, not your physiology, your neurochem, your brain. So
Exactly. But your chromosomes don't change.
sometimes people who have XY chromosomes, meaning they're a male, are born with female brain structures. So
Sure, that's fine.
they live their lives thinking,
Exactly. Believing, yes.
identify. No, not believing.
Yes, thinking and
Identifying
believing is
as
the
a
same thing.
woman. No, I don't believe that I'm a man, right? I just am a man, right?
Because you know you're a man. You're biologically male.
That's how I identify as a man.
So you
Right? I
identify.
identify.
Okay, yeah.
It's not just a random belief. I don't just. It's not on a whim, right? It's an identity.
So why don't you identify as a female?
Because, oh my God, you still don't know the distinction between sex and gender. I don't know if I can talk to you anymore. If you don't even understand the distinction.
Because your
Do you know
argument's not
that?
making sense.
Do you know that gender and sex are different things, sir?
Do you think that
Oh my
that
God,
makes your
guys!
argument doesn't make
Like
sense?
I have to. Let me educate you guys again. Sex is chromosomal, right? It has to do with your chromosomes. That's sex. You're born with that, right? You're born as a male or a female. However, your brain structures also influence your gender, okay? Gender is neurochemical. So sometimes people are born male bodies but have female brains. So their genders are going to align with a woman in our society. It's that simple, guys. It's that simple, right? There's no calculus, there's no neuroscience, there's no, brain surgery. It's just basic science. Okay? This is evidenced by tons of studies.
Oh, hi. A- about the thing you were talking about earlier. Sorry, nervous. I'm nervous, but about whew. so like people are saying like you choose to be gay. That is actually like so wrong. Like even in like nature.
Sir, how old are you?
I'm 18. Sorry.
Okay, what's your argument today?
I'm just adding on to what you said. I'll go if that is okay. But in nature, there are tons of like examples of homosexuality in animals.
I understand. Thank you. What's your
Yeah.
argument? What's your argument?
I was just saying that I agree with you and everything.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate
good
it.
point. But
But
yeah, have a nice day.
you too. Thank you. Look, I'm looking for people who oppose this, but yeah, I appreciate your support. Thank you. I don't mean to be rude, but I want to get to the next guest. Please keep tapping, guys. Thank you. We got lots of likes today.
You are connected.
Please keep tapping, guys.
Can you hear me?
Lots of likes today. Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me? Girl, you are so stupid. Why are you lying to these people?
Okay. Next. That was a shit show.
Hello.
Hey, how can I?
Hey, can you explain to me what your beliefs on God and gender? Because I don't
Right
know
there.
what you're
They're
talking
right
about.
there. They're right there.
No, explain to me why you think God isn't real.
There's no evidence of it.
There's no evidence of it. So I want to ask you, so why do you think people all over the world believe in a higher power?
Because they've been taught it as kids.
Taught it as kids. Okay, that's what you think. They've been taught it as kids.
Yeah.
So all these evidence in the world, you think they've been taught as kids. So you've never gone through a time in your life, right? You've never gone through a time in your life where there's like a higher power helping you out.
No, I just help myself out.
Okay. Man, you need guidance, my brother.
Says the one who believes in talking donkeys.
Talking donkeys?
Yeah. Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not a Christian.
Muslim?
But that's not important. I want to talk about the gender part. Okay. Okay, so explain to me about the gender and the spectrum.
Wait, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
Well, why are you asking that? I'm asking you. So on your gender is a spectrum. Well, what do you mean by that?
Bye. Bye-bye. He's the one who said that you need guidance. He gets to be rude to me, but I can't be rude back. Right? He gets to be rude to me and say that I need guidance, but I can't say that he believes in nonsense. Come on. Look at the hypocrisy, guys. It's so one-sided here.
How we
Hey, how
doing?
can
So you don't believe God is real? I get
No.
that. So you believe in a higher power?
No, I don't believe in. I don't know what a higher power. Everybody keeps using this word. What's a higher power? Like an airplane? Like a
Do
like a
you
hot
think
air
you're the one?
balloon? Like a piece of like plane shit? What are you talking about?
What, a plane shit? What?
What do you mean by higher power?
So like in your brain, what tells you to do what?
Okay. Have a good day. What tells you to do what?
Hello.
Hi, how can I help you?
Okay, so speaking of the gender spectrum, so I don't believe in it, I'll be honest. Now, when you talk about if you're born a man and your brain is female, how does your brain make you feel female? What is
Because
the
the
definition of a
hypothalamus,
brain feeling female?
the hypothalamus, the amygdala, the frontal cortex, all these parts of the brain dictate your sexuality.
But what
They
I'm saying
dictate
is,
your gender.
okay, so like I'm a woman because I have female anatomy. I was born a woman,
Okay.
I feel a woman.
Well, okay.
I feel feminine.
Yeah,
I look
that's
feminine.
your brain. That has to do with your brain.
Okay, so, but those are the things that make me feel like a woman.
Right.
So when you say their brain makes them feel male if they were born female. Well, what in their brain makes, like, how do I put it? Makes them feel male. What is being male in your brain?
Look, ma'am, you feel like a woman, right? You think you're a
Because I
woman.
was born with women parts.
You were born with a female brain. Now imagine if we took your same brain and put it into a male body.
I would be a male because I have a penis.
You would be a male, but you would not be a
No, I would
male.
feel a male because I would be in a male body.
No. It's your same brain. You have the same brain, man. You would still think you're a woman.
Because my brain aligns with
Your brain
my anatomy
dictates your
that I'm
brain
born with.
dictates your gender. Your brain says that you're a woman. That's your brain.
My brain and my anatomy align. So when they don't align, it's a
ma'am, it
mental
doesn't- look, ma'am,
disorder.
please listen. You think that you're a woman because of your neurochemistry, right? Now imagine if we took your brain.
Because
Hold on.
I was
Please
raised
hold on.
as a girl.
Please hold on.
Because when I was born, I had
Please
female
hold on.
anatomy.
Please hold on. Look, you live in a society where you think you're a woman because this comes from your brain. You align with what a woman is because your brain says that I'm a woman. Now imagine if we took your same brain and put it into a male body. You would still think you're a woman because you have the same brain. That's where your sexuality and your gender comes from, the brain. So that's how transgender people work. And we can actually study this. Here's a study called Brain Sex Shifted Towards Gender Identity. We took different brains of transgender people and compared them to cisgender people and saw that they were the same, right? It's the brain type. It's the brain structure that determines your gender, your sex, your sexuality, and all the above. So just like being gay has to do with your brain chemistry. Okay, there are many genes that determine your sexuality, just like they determine your gender, depending on your social construct, just depending on the social environment. Do you understand now?
No, I don't agree. No, I don't agree in that because I feel like being born gay is being born gay or a lesbian because it's a feeling of emotions.
And it
You
comes
get
from the brain.
turned
It's called
on
gender.
by the same sex. You get turned on by the same sex. But
Yes,
so if you were
sexuality.
to take my brain and now as an adult woman and put it into a male body, I would feel like who I am right now. Yes.
Exactly. There you go.
As a moment of being an adult.
That's all the transgender means.
Absolutely no. But if I were born a boy,
You got it.
and I am raised as a boy because I have male anatomy, my brain and my anatomy would match up because I was raised like that. So then,
Exactly.
whenever you are raised as a girl,
please listen. You're almost there. You almost got it. You agree that if your brain was in somebody else's body,
as
you
an
would still think
adult.
Hold on.
No, because you're not going to add that in there. As an adult, yes.
It doesn't matter. Your brain has been the same since you were born. So
no, our brains are adapted to the environment we were raised in.
Yeah, but your sexuality doesn't change, right? Your sexuality, if you're gay, you're born gay. You don't choose to be straight, right?
I don't feel like you do, no.
Great. So just like you don't choose your sexuality or being gay, you don't choose being transgender. You don't choose that.
I didn't say
You're
you
born-
chose it, no. But I think it's a
Your
mental
brain
disorder.
structure- Just listen for a second. We're almost there.
You keep saying just listen, and I was quiet and I listened, but then every time
Your brain structure determines who you think you are. A woman. You think you're a woman because of your brain. We take your brain, put it in some male body, you would still think you're a woman. That's all it means to be transgender, guys. It's not that hard. It's very simple, guys. And this is how people are born. Some people, because of hormonal effects and all kinds of, embryonic development, they're born with certain brain structures. And we study this. We can look at different transgender brains and we see the differences between cisgenders and transgenders and straight and all these things. It has to do with the brain chemistry. Okay? So show me that that's wrong.
I didn't say it was wrong. I said
So
I
then what's
believe
your argument?
it's a mental disorder.
No, it is not. Where's the
Because
disorder? Where is the disorder?
because of the fact that you were born to a female body, your brain
No,
is going to be a
that
female
doesn't make it a
brain
disorder. Ma'am,
to go
please.
together.
Where is the disorder in the brain?
You just said based on hormones, based on this, based on that. So then when those aren't aligned, that's a disorder. Like someone who is bipolar, their chemistry is off. Someone who suffers with depression.
Ma'am, bipolar is a disorder because there is dysfunction in your daily life. But being trans, there's no dysfunction. Where's the dysfunction in being trans?
Because when you look at overall brains and you have brains that are not typical, that's going to be a disorder.
That doesn't make a disorder. Just because it's not typical doesn't make it wrong or a disorder.
That's like saying, okay, if someone is bipolar, that's normal behavior. No, it's
that's
not.
a disorder because there is a dysfunction in their lives. Where is the dysfunction?
It's not a dysfunction in their lives. It's a dysfunction.
Yes, it is.
It's a dysfunction with chemistry in their body.
Ma'am, exactly. Being bipolar can be dangerous. You can lose jobs over it, right? You can get in accidents because of that, right? Being trans, that doesn't happen. You're normal. There's nothing wrong with you. There's no disorder. You can still function. You can still have a job. You can still love people. You can still have a relationship. Being trans does not affect your life at all in that way, right? So that's the difference between bipolar and trans. Bipolar is bad. It's dysfunction. Trans is not a dysfunction. There's no dysfunction there at all. So, by the way, no organization deems transgender as a disorder at all. None. Dysphoria is not a disorder. Gender dysphoria is not a disorder. It is distress. But so is a cold. So is a sniffle. Distress is not a disorder. There's no malfunction in their lives. So again, SJ, come back up and explain to me why I'm wrong. Go. With evidence, not just I think you're wrong, but show me where I'm wrong. You're muted, ma'am. We can't hear you if you're talking. Click the microphone button. Hello? Please unmute yourself. If you're talking, we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. Guys, I know I muted her, but she has to unmute herself. She can do that at any time. Keep tapping it, ma'am. Just keep tapping it. Maybe she's Googling. She's probably angry as hell. No. Okay, well, come back. Go find the evidence and come back. Okay, go. How about that? Go find your source where that says I'm wrong, and go ahead and come back. In fact, what time is it? 11:40. Okay. Hello.
Oh, yo, Mike.
How old are you?
You don't believe in God, right?
No. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. What do you got?
Would that make you an atheist?
What?
Would you call yourself an atheist?
Yeah.
Okay, so you believe that you believe in the Big Bang Theory.
Well, yeah, but do you even know the Big Bang? Do you even know what that means?
Of course, yeah.
What is it?
Well, that's irrelevant. But what leads you to believe that?
The evidence.
What evidence exactly?
We can observe the Big Bang, sir. We can
Okay.
observe the CMB radiation. We can observe the nucleosynthesis.
Okay.
We can observe redshifting of galaxies.
So what can you not observe about God?
Okay, well, if you're 21, I hardly believe that. But there is nothing we can observe about gods or any god. There's no evidence of God I see. So either bring the evidence or go away. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
That's good. I kind of stumbled on your live when you were talking about what was it, gender dysphoria and transgenderism.
Okay, what's your argument?
Well, I was just listening to you, and I don't know if I'm taking this out of context here, because I just kind of stumbled on your live. You were saying that it's not classified as as a mental illness. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not classified at all as a mental illness.
But I thought that was only to what was it? 35% of people that are trans only have gender dysphoria, not necessarily everyone.
Yes, exactly. Not everybody who's trans.
Oh,
has
is that
gender
actually
dysphoria.
what you meant? Okay, sorry. Never mind then. Sorry. Okay, I'll go.
%60? Okay, yeah. I mean, well, just imagine being trans today, especially, right? We have everybody telling you that you're not who you are. Of course, that's going to cause you distress, right? Imagine if you were told that you're somebody you're not your entire life, told to be in a different bathroom you don't want to be in. You're going to be distressful, right? Right? And people, guys, be humane. Even if this is some kind of bad thing, it doesn't harm you. You are not affected by it. And we know the evidence shows that they are better off when they are affirmed. Mentally, they're better off. Why would you want to harm them? Be humane. Have a heart. They're not bad. They're not bad people. Hi, how are you? Okay. Somebody said Darth Dawkins has been talking about me all day. He's a funny guy. Hello.
Yo, hello?
Can you lower down the cartoons, Tom and Jerry?
Oh, that's my brother. You can hear me?
Sir, please turn off Tom and Jerry. Hello?
Nigger. Nigger.
That's hilarious. We all laughed. What is a woman? A woman relates to characteristics.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So there's some thoughts I had on this. And the first question I would have is, so when I was a kid growing up down the street, there was a man who identified as a child, but he was also a pedophile. Would you say that is a disorder?
Go away. It's not remotely analogous. Nice try, though. It's not remotely analogous. You're just transphobic. That is wrong, of course, but being trans, there's nobody's being harmed. No, he didn't got me. That was a shitty attempt of trying to prove anybody wrong. If that was not remotely analogous. This is what people did with gay people, right? We correlate them with Edos with the P. No, there's nothing wrong with being gay, just like there's nothing wrong being trans. Stop being transphobic. Stop being homophobic. Stop it. It's not at all analogous. You can't counter because that's a malformed argument.
Hello?
Hey, how can I help you?
All right. So here's my thoughts here.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay.
There is no non-binary. I'm not saying that there isn't anything. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being trans. I have a friend who is trans. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with
Okay,
being
great.
gay.
So what's your argument here?
Gender isn't a spectrum. It's one or the other. You can switch in
Okay,
between.
prove it.
It's easy to prove.
Go ahead.
You either have one set of privates or you have the other.
That's sex. That's not gender. Do you know the difference?
There is no difference.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Sex is chromosomal. Gender is neurochemical. Gender comes from the brain, right? Sexuality comes from the brain. These things determine what our genders are, what our sexuality is. Our genitals correlate to our chromosomes, not our gender. Okay? Is that clear? Does that ring a bell for you?
Gender is directly correlated to hormones as well.
Yes. Gender is related to hormones in your brain, but not your genitals.
Actually, your genitals is what determines the percentage of which hormone you have, whether it be estrogen or testosterone.
Okay, the problem is that, again, chromosomes are determine your sex, or what determine your sex. What determines your gender is purely brain.
False.
Okay, great. So what about my genitals influences my gender?
Your build.
My build? That's your opinion.
That's not opinion. That is fact based off of biology.
Okay, great. So where's your source that says because I have a penis, it means I'm a man? Where's your evidence of that?
Men are built different from women, not
Sir,
just in
where's your
terms.
source? Where's your source for this?
Actually paying attention in biology class.
That's not an answer. That's not a counter. What source, what evidence shows that genitals dictate your gender?
It is the gender.
Prove it.
You take a look around you. Take a look at the women. Take a look at the men.
Look. This is not a good argument because taking a look around you is a shit argument. The point here is that we have sources that show that there's a complexity to the brain. And this complexity, the hypothalamus, the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, all of these can influence your gender. What is gender? Gender are characteristics that are socially constructed within our society that says, hey, this is a man. He likes army things. He likes to play outside. He likes to be rough. He's masculine, short hair. That's gender. That is not dictated by my penis.
That's not necessarily true. We do have the term such as tomboy, which is a girl.
I understand. That's not related to gender, though, sir. So let's get back on track. My gender is not dictated by my penis. My gender is dictated by my brain. It's dictated also by my social environment. My environment says that a man is somebody who does those things I said before. That's a man. If a woman is someone more feminine, that is what gender means. So, if I was born a male, I might have a female brain. My female brain says I'm a woman. That's what a transgender person is. Do you understand that?
My friend who is trans is a male. Exchanged
That's their
from a woman.
sex. What's their gender?
She changed from a woman to a man.
That's, sir, you can't change from a woman to a man. That doesn't make
There are
any sense.
surgeries for it.
So, no, again, she was born, he was born a female, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now he identifies as a man, right?
That is correct.
Great. So he's a man. He's somebody who has a male brain, but a female body. That's it. That's all that means.
So would you consider a paperclip a gender?
No, it's not related to sex or sexuality at all.
And yet we have people claiming that they have a...
Okay, that's ridiculous. That's not remotely analogous to gender. Nice try, though.
It's either one or the other.
Prove it.
Be
When
one
we have
and have
sources
the
like the
other.
World Health Organization, which shows that gender refers to the characteristics that are, includes norms and behaviors and roles, right, associated with your sexuality, associated with your masculinity or femininity. All these factors are included. Do you understand the complexities, the nuances of the brain? You're not understanding this. You're just saying it's man or woman, it's binary. Why? Because I want it to be that way. You have no actual evidence that you're correct. All the evidence suggests that people's brains are more complex than you're making it out to be.
It's actually pretty simple to understand it once you actually get into actual life.
I'm sorry, kid, but that's not a fucking argument. Nice try, though. Do you have anything better?
Let me ask you something. Are you one of the people that believes that girls can't be into cars because that's not something that's girly enough for them?
No, I don't believe that. That's toxic.
So are the lies that you are spreading.
Demonstrate their lies, jackass. Demonstrate their lies. Go ahead, let's see your source. You're going to call me a liar? Give me a source. Go ahead.
Gender is...
That's not a source. Where's your scientific peer-reviewed source, sir?
It's called biology. It is
That's not a
called
source.
science.
That's not a source. That's not even relevant. How do you know that gender is binary?
It explains it in biology.
That's not
in
a
several
source.
ways.
Where's your
Yes,
scientific
it
source
is.
that says there's two genders and that's it?
Read a biology book. Read a medical book.
Where does it say that there's only two genders?
It says it in everything.
Give me a source.
It says it in college grade textbooks.
Give me a source that shows that gender is sex.
Did you ever go to school?
I've been in school longer than you've been alive. Next. Gender is not sex, guys. Please learn the difference. Please learn the difference. Gender is neurochemical. Sex, chromosomal. Gender, neurochemical. Sex, chromosomal. Learn the difference, guys. You're making your life worse and other people's lives worse by not educating yourselves. Learn about who people are. Learn about who they are and what identities mean, what gender means.
Okay, so you believe in the Big Bang, obviously. I just need an explanation, like a question. I'm not even really trying to debate. I just need an explanation on why matter and antimatter is asymmetric from the start of the Big Bang. Why is there not equal amounts? Where's the evidence that suggests that there's not equal amounts of antimatter?
We
and matter?
don't know. We don't know why there's a disequilibrium there. It seems to be, though, however, that regular matter, baryonic matter, won out because it was more popular. It was more populous. We don't know why exactly, though. Why does this matter?
They said it was equal. When the
We don't
Big
know if
Bang
it
was
was
created, it was equal. Or
There was
when-
no Big Bang that was created.
Not
Do
created,
you
but when
believe-
the Big Bang went bang, There was equal parts
There was
side of
no
the
bang.
equation of
There
matter
was no actual,
and
sir,
antimatter. Yes, there is.
sir, there was no actual bang. Do you know what the Big Bang actually was?
The expansion of the universe. Yes.
Okay, great. Now,
Something the size of a pin, it logically doesn't make sense that something the size of a pin is more dense than the universe and is constantly expanding.
what do you mean it doesn't make sense?
It
What doesn't make
logically
sense?
does not make sense that something as small as a pin is denser than the universe, and the universe
Why
is
not?
constantly
Why not?
expanding. Because
Why not?
well, then how would you explain to me that makes sense?
Because density is mass per volume, right? Imagine all the mass in the universe squeezed into a very, very small volume. The same mass, high little volume. That's huge density. Do you know that density is mass per volume?
Yes, I do know that.
Great. So then it's simple math. All the mass, the same mass of today, in a very small volume equals high density.
Okay, and did you know that logical probability also suggests that if you have something that dense and that small, you're probably also going to have logical probability that there's a creator as well, because both. Oh, all right. Let me just bring up the source. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of CERN, people who study, kind of like, the big company,
It's not a company, sir, but go ahead and
the
show us
administration,
the evidence for God. Let's
call
hear
it.
it. Let's hear the evidence for God.
I'm just confused on why antimatter and matter is not equal, and they can't explain it.
We don't know.
Science,
Look,
the
look,
own
we
method that
don't
you
know,
use
sir.
can't explain.
Look, there are some things we don't know about the universe. Why is there a universe but none universe?
So don't try to explain it to people.
Why is there a God but no God? We don't know. These are just questions. We don't know the answers.
Stop acting like.
I'm not acting like I know the answers. What I'm saying, however, is that there's no good reason to think that there's a God. That's what I'm saying. You're the one saying you know all the answers. You're the one saying you know everything about the universe. It must have been a God.
No, I'm
That's
the one who's
your
asking the
problem.
question because I'm confused.
Okay, great. So learn. Don't ask me. Learn.
Well, if
I'm
you're
no- I
trying
don't-
to
I don't-
educate
I'm
people,
not.
then why should someone learn from you if you can't explain?
I'm not the Wizard of Oz. I'm not here to educate you. I am not here to educate you. That is your job. I am simply here to inspire you to do that. I'm not an educator. I'm not. I'm simply somebody who wants you to learn on your own. These ideas are things that nobody is used to on a daily basis, right? Your parents don't say it. The school doesn't teach these things. Who is going to ask these questions? Who is going to ask these big questions if we don't ask them here? That's why I do this. Not to tell you I know everything, but to ask you questions that might inspire you to learn more.
Yo,
How old are you?
21.
Okay. And what do you got?
All right, so like I'm confused on how you're trying to say that gender is neurochemical.
You're confused?
Yes.
Then why are you here? You
Because
can't debate.
you're trying to
Look, you can't
explain
debate
it, so
somebody.
explain it.
You
I want
can't
to know.
debate
I'm not trying
somebody
to
if you're
argue with you. I'm
stop. Look, guys, you can't debate somebody if you're confused. This is a debate stage, right? I'm not here to say or educate you. Learn. I'm here to say to learn, right? Learn. Go read. Go learn. Go look at the research. Go look at what I'm saying. Don't believe me? Do the research yourself. This here is a discussion, a debate for people to come up and argue against my ideas. See which one wins. It's not about me knowing all the answers and me teaching you. That's not how this works. I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. But we can try to get there.
Hello.
How old are you?
19. I just got a question though. If you say you don't have all the answers and you're making a statement saying that God isn't real, that's literally you saying you have an answer because you're making a statement. You're not asking a question.
Yeah, I don't need to know all the answers in the world to know that God isn't real, right? There's logical inconsistencies with certain versions of God. The problem of evil, divine hiddenness, some of these logical inconsistencies render God impossible.
I think that's false, man.
Okay, try me. Let's see who wins. Let's battle this out, right?
If
Debate.
you're
Debate
saying
me.
that God
Debate.
isn't real, then how do you explain prophecies fulfilling from 2,000 years ago today
What prophecy?
about the Euphrates River drying up? The
It's not
seven.
drying up. It's not drying up.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Where's your scientific source that says that Euphrates River is drying up, and therefore that means the Bible is true?
Well, one, the Bible was made what 2,000 years ago.
Yes, and the river and rivers always dry up and they refill again. That's what rivers do. It's
Right.
not magical. It's not a magical prophecy to go, hey, maybe this river will dry up. Every river dries up at the end.
Okay, but then how do you explain the other prophecies fulfilling, like the seven dens and the Middle East, representing the angels and Revelations, and then you're
The
gonna
seven what? The seven dens?
yes,
What do you mean the seven dens?
they
Where are they?
represent the seven angels in Revelations.
What seven dens? Where are they?
I just said in the Middle East.
What about them?
That's a prophecy fulfilling, saying that bro.
What is
Also,
a den? What do you mean by den?
that a den is a den. How are you confused about that?
A basement?
No, a basement isn't a den.
What do you mean by den then? That means it's an ambiguous word.
All right, well, I'm not about to explain that to you, but anyways, again, the famine talking about over the world, we're in a big famine right now, which again was predicted 2,000 years ago in the Bible.
A big what?
A big famine?
A big famine.
Yeah.
Where?
I just said all over the world.
Where is it? Where is the famine? I don't see a famine.
I'm sorry you don't see that, man. It's really unfortunate.
Where is it happening?
I just said all over the world.
Okay, what countries? Where? What countries are in a big famine?
All of Asia and Africa.
China has no food? They ran out?
Do you understand what the word famine means?
China ran out of food?
Do you
Oh
understand
no,
what the
somebody
word
call the
famine
cops.
means?
Somebody call the police. They're out of food.
And just to prove your Big Bang,
God's coming back.
he is, man.
It's a famine. Sir, this is preposterous. This is utterly insane. There are no fucking prophecies in the Bible. You have a storybook for children, and you're going after the fact, going, "Oh look, there's some things that happen in the world that might correlate to my book." You're injecting these things into the story. The Bible is so ambiguous. It's so vague. It's so easy to draw predictions from it because it applies to every day. It applies to every river dries up, right? There's always famine somewhere. There's always somebody starving. There's always some bad thing happening. There's always war happening. Of course, you're going to pretend there's predictions, but they've always come true. They couldn't be wrong. It's such a vague thing to say.
All right, man. Well, that's your opinion. I have mine. I
That
appreciate.
doesn't fucking matter. Look, opinions don't fucking matter. What matters is the evidence. I don't give a shit about opinions. I care about facts and data, and you have none.
Okay, bro. I can.
Okay? And that might seem harsh to you guys, right? It might seem harsh. Oh, I'm the bad guy. But that's how these answers are achieved. Not just by believing, but by doing the hard work. It's hard to learn. It's hard to get educated. It's hard to know facts.
Okay.
Easy to pretend.
One thing is, how do you know God is not real? You're saying, oh, how do you know God is
Okay,
real? But you're not giving me clear evidence of how he's not.
How old are you?
Let's go, fuckboy. I'm waiting for an answer.
Typical Christian. So angry and rude.
Okay, so you're transgender yourself. So if you would explain the whole genders of spectrum.
Look, I'm not here to explain things to you. Do you have an argument or no?
Well, I just want to hear from the perspective of a transgender themselves.
Yeah, I understand. Look, I understand where you guys are coming from, right? I understand. I used to be like you guys. I used to be, aha, trans, haha, gay, haha. And that's funny. I know it's funny to you guys. I understand where you guys are coming from. But once I started learning more about who people are, right? Like, there's a lot more complexity to things. There's a lot more complexity to nature and the world around us and who people are. That, to me, it's ridiculous to do what he just did, right? It's so petty to sit there and say, aha, you're trans, aha. That's childish. It's not understanding. It's sad that people, but again, it's not me that has to do this. It's people who are trans. They're told every day that they're invalid by people like that. That, oh, you're dumb, you're bad, you're ill. When no, they're not. Imagine being told every day that you're ill, that you're bad, you're invalid, you're not who you think you are. That's terrible. It's a terrible experience. And this is what you guys are doing unbeknownst to yourselves. You're doing it out of your ignorance. This is why I'm here, right? I'm trying to point you guys to hey, there's a different perspective here. These people are just like you and me. They don't want to be treated like this, right? And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm vegan, for the animals, right? Why, the same contrarian attitude is seen when I debate veganism. Oh, go ahead. I like to eat animals. I just ate steak. Right? And it's funny to you guys. But understanding each other is more important than being funny. Right? People's lives are at risk. The animals' lives are at risk. You're harming others. There's toxicity. We're swimming in it. And every day I imagine a world where people are more understanding, where we think before we speak, and that's the world I want to live in. That's why I'm here, because I'm here to make you think. But I understand why you guys are laughing. I understand that. But it's wrong to me. It's wrong because you're just omitting who they are, who people are. So just think about it, right? Just think about what you're doing.
So what do you identify as?
A man. So what's your argument today?
You said you were trans. I'm trying to, get a better understanding what you said. There's a more complexity to.
I'm not trans. I'm not trans.
So what are you, bro?
A man.
So what is your argument here? Like, why are you? What is?
Like another person who just, what are you arguing? Like, think before you speak. Think. Use your brain. Guys, there's so much harm you're causing that you're not seeing. Behind closed doors that you don't see, there's a lot of harm happening. A lot of emotional harm you're causing people. Nobody should have to go through this, right? Being told that they're bad, that they're ill, that you're invalid. That should not be the norm. Let's be more kind. Let's be more loving. Let's be more compassionate. Let's be more humane.
Eat a steak, you vegan fuck. Vegan ass.
I understand. It's understandable. It's funny. That's funny. But the problem again is the same attitude, right? We just saw right there was what you guys are doing with trans people, right? It's funny, if I told you guys do your homework, what's the first thing you say? No, I'm not going to do my homework, right? My dog ate it, right? You're going to just make up things and say to be contrarian, to do. It's just a knee jerk response we have as people, right? If I say don't harm somebody, the first thing you say, yeah, let's harm them, right? You just want to be contrarian. And that's something that we all do as people. I understand that, but again, you're missing the bigger picture here. There are people out there that are being harmed. There are animals out there being harmed, and they don't deserve to be harmed. I'm not helping. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you speaking up? Or are you letting the world harm each other and doing nothing about it? Are you deliberately being ignorant about other people because it's easy? Think about what you're doing, right? Think. You're part of a society. You're part of people. You live in a world with other people in them. And that's all we got is each other, guys. There's nobody else out there and it's going to come and save us. All we have is each other, your friends, your family, the people around you, trans people, gay people, LGBT people, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists. That's all we got is each other, right? We're all in this together. Why the hatred? Why the harm? Why the deliberate ignorance? Why? Just imagine a world where people were more understanding. I mean, look at slavery. Hundreds of years, centuries of people enslaving each other because they didn't understand who they were. They thought they were subhuman, right? They belittled people. They devalued people. And that's what caused such destruction and chaos and torture for those people. And in today's perspective, we look back on racism, we look back on slavery, and we say, those are bad things. It's obvious. It's all obvious to us. If I was up here joking about slavery, saying, aha, being racist, I'll be canceled tomorrow. I'd be canceled tomorrow, right? If I did that 100, 200 years ago, I would be getting the same responses I am today. Haha, they're just slaves. Haha, they're just these kind of people. They're dark-skinned, right? It's the same attitude. And hopefully this live helped you guys understand that there's nothing wrong with being gay or trans or black or white, or there's nothing wrong with it. When you take a deep breath and think about it, there's nothing to be mad or angry or scared about. We're all people trying to figure this place out. Is there a God? Where is God? What's the meaning? What's the purpose? What is all this? Why are we here? Right? These are big questions, but we're not going to answer them by being harmful, by being rude and mean to people just because of who they are. We're not going to get there by being deliberately ignorant. Bro's yapping. Well, you're still here, aren't you? There's a reason you're here, right? You're trying to see what I have to say. It's good. And what I can tell you is to learn on your own. Learn about people. Learn about the animals, who they are. Learn about people, who they are. Learn about nature, who that is, what that is. Learn about planets and stars, galaxies, the Big Bang, evolution. Learn about these things. The more you learn, in every case, knowledge is always making the world a better place. Every time we learn, the world becomes better, tiny bit better. The progression we have seen for the past 300 years is because of knowledge, because of understanding. We have more rights than ever before. We look at the world we live in today. I don't take it for granted. How many rights we have, how much abundance we have, right? I can go to my bathroom and get clean water and take a shower. I can drink fresh water. I can watch TV. I can go to the computer. I have all the knowledge at my fingertips. I have a bed. I can sleep on my bed. I have a home. I have a car. I can travel. Look at these amazing things we have in society that are mass produced because of our knowledge, because of engineering and science, people thinking. Look at how many rights we have. Freedom of speech. I can speak on this live. This is unprecedented. Just a couple hundred years ago, this was never possible. Even talking this like this would be impossible 100 years, 200 years ago. Right? Look at how many great things we've done. And all of it was enabled because we stopped being mad at each other and we started conversing with each other. We started debating each other, right? In America, our country was founded by people who debated. They debated for months and months and months. What should this law be like? Okay, should we separate religion and government? Should we what kind of freedom should people have? What kinds of rights should people have, right? It was a debate, a grand debate, and yielded this world today. We are the legacies of the doctrines of the past. The doctrines full and embedded of intelligence and knowledge. So we today are people that make the future happen. That's why I care about this, because we are the future. Nobody else is going to help us, okay? Not the boomers, not the old people, okay? It's up to us. It's up to us to help each other. It's up to us to bring rise to the new doctrines of the new age, just as every generation has in the past. So it's up to you. What kind of world do you want to live in? A world where there's hate and harm and fights, or one with peace, love, compassion, abundance, and great experiences? It's up to you. It's up to us. So that's all I can say, guys. Thanks for being here. Be more compassionate. And remember, guys, all we have is each other, you know. That one dot. See that dot right there, guys? See that dot right there? That's the Earth, right? That's our planet. Everybody that you know, everybody you love, everybody that's ever existed on that one dot. There's no hint or sign that someone is going to come and save us. We're just a fragile, delicate existence, right? Life is a delicate thing. Let's not waste it. Let's not harm it. Not because God said so, but because we want to thrive. We want to live. Because we really want to. Genuinely. Not because we're ordered to, but because we want to. So that to me is the world I want to live in, you know? And that's why I do these debates.